Welcome back to another Alliance War. This time around, For Loki is taking on an alliance that I once again have no idea how to pronounce their name. Let's just go with International. For Loki versus an International Alliance. That sounds about right. I'm taking Path 5 today, and I'm bringing along Medusa with the Black Bolt Synergy and Stark Spidey. First node up is this 6-star skill champion on a node that is about as much of a diversity node as you could possibly get. Defensive, Optimist, Pessimist, Power Gain, Power Start 1, not a whole lot going on here. I'm thinking it's going to be a Kingpin just because of that extra power gain, in addition to the natural power gain that Kingpin has. That's kind of who I was expecting before I joined the war, at least. Going to go ahead and slap on one of these 15% health boosts because they are quite cheap. Actually a really good value in my opinion. Paying 30 units to get 15% extra health is really not too bad. The higher up boosts, those things get pretty pricey, but you know, for only 30 units a pop, getting the 15% health I think is a great value, and I've definitely spent a few hundred units on those things this season. This node turns out it's just a Daredevil, so I'm thinking, okay, this is not going to be any problem, right? Right? Actually, no, everything goes fine here. I hate to spoil it. The fight is very easy. I'm just cycling his L1s. There's nothing to it, really. Even if I did slip up, I've got the auto block to get my back. I was thinking about throwing an L1, but I didn't want to accidentally push him to an L2, and then by the time I felt comfortable, he was almost dead, so I just saved for my L2 and took him down. Not too bad. Fight took about 35 seconds there. Moving on. The next node up, we have a 4-star skill champion, and I'm thinking this is going to be Punisher or Agent Venom, thanks to the enhanced special 1, meaning the L1 is unblockable, plus kinetic reactor, plus power reserve. So yeah, a lot of people like to throw Agent Venom, Punisher, Punisher 2099, those types of champions where it's hard to dodge their special abilities. So, going in here with Stark Spidey, that's the whole reason why I bring him on this path to begin with. I'm going to go ahead and build up poise charges as a Stark Spidey is prone to do. I don't know if I should have been attacking that early without having enough poise charges, but you know, sometimes the biggest problem that a Stark Spidey player can have is just getting backed up too far against the wall. So I felt myself getting a little bit too far backed up. Didn't want to get up against that wall, so I got those attacks in, not so much to do damage, but just to kind of push him away from me before going back to building up poise charges. At this point, once I do have a bunch of poise built up, I mean the fight is not anything too crazy. Just going to you know, dodge the L1, and there we go. That is it. That is a wrap. Alright, next fight. Here is where things get a little bit interesting. Very much so interesting, in fact. This is a 5-star rank 4 Mystic champion, and I am assuming that they have Mystic Dispersion, of course, which means fighting this node with Medusa is always going to be a kind of risky play because of all those Furies that I'm going to be building up. Now, I do still like to I do still favor Medusa over someone like Stark Spidey for this situation, just because my Medusa is higher level, and plus Stark Spidey, I mean, he's got to build up poise charges by you know, triggering Mystic Dispersion a whole bunch anyway. And I'm thinking, well, I mean, either way, I'm going to be you know, triggering Mystic Dispersion. Either champion is capable of bringing them down for sure. But I just kind of feel more comfortable with Medusa. So I go ahead and slap on the invulnerability boost this way. In case I do push them to an L3, I've got that to back me up. And in fact, a lot of times going against Mystic Champions, that's just kind of my plan. That's my mentality, is they are going to get to an L3. I cannot prevent it. But alright, let's get on to this actual fight here. So I get the armor shatter. I have to time it out a little bit differently thanks to the Masochism node. And here's where the first part of the trouble begins for this fight. I just can't get him to throw the L2. I want him to throw an L2. I get a few more shots in there just to apply some bleed so I can reduce the willpower healing. But other than that, I'm trying to get him to bait out this special. I just can't do it. I triggered dexterity there once, triggered again accidentally. He's got the L3. And okay, invulnerability boost, do your thing. Now here's the problem. Take a look at my Furies when I come out of this. I've got 6 Furies, they're about to expire. Watch his power meter. Boom, he's already up to 2 bars of power. He's still unstoppable, so I triggered you know, dexterity to evade an attack, and suddenly he's at an L3 once again. Invulnerability boost. Save me one more time. Now here's where more trouble comes in. After this, I end up getting hit again. So there we go. My invulnerability is done because I got hit a third time outside of the special 3. So now I know, like, the next L3, it's gonna hurt, man. It's definitely gonna hurt. I've got my Furies kind of ticking away here. I'm trying to get in as much damage as I possibly can in the meantime. I'm very happy and thankful that he threw that L2. It's about time this guy throws something other than his L3s. Of course, he's a bit tanky here, especially healing up thanks to the Masochism node. My Furies are about to expire, and boom, he's got the L3. Here we go. Let's see how much damage this does to me. I'm at 76% right now. 36%. Okay, so quite a bit of my life. I know that if he hits me with another L3, that's a wrap. It is over. I have to finish this fight before he gets to an L3. Alright, so he throws the L1. That gives me a little bit more time, but I mean, does it actually? Because he's unstoppable during that time, and it's just allowing my Furies to build up. But luckily, he does go down to that L2. So yeah, the fight is over. But man, that one stressed me out. That was a rough fight. I mean, part of it was just because I could not get him to throw a special at one point in the fight. And then part of it was, I don't know, I remember not feeling very focused. I wasn't paying attention to my Furies well enough. I should have just stuck to the plan and pushed him to an L3 instead of kind of, you know, waiting around for him to naturally get the L3. Like, if I push him to an L3 when my Furies were about to expire, that would have been would have been the better play. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and heal up Medusa here, using pretty much the last of my level 4 health potions. This is a mutant champion, so I probably would have been fine taking in Stark Spidey. But I feel like it's a higher percentage play for me to take in Medusa, so that's what I'm gonna do. It's not really about saving potions and units. It's you know, doing whatever I have to do to take in the best option, the best champion they have for a particular node. Now, it turns out that it's only Rogue. Of course, I didn't know that going into it. I didn't know what to expect here. But it is only Rogue, so I definitely would have been fine with taking in anybody. Honestly, man, I might have been able to handle this node with my 440 Black Bolt that I have for synergies. Just get Rogue baiting the L1s, and going to go ahead and finish her off with my L2 here. And that fight really wasn't anything too troubling. The other reason I healed up Medusa too is that I already knew I was going to be using Medusa for this next node here. It is just a 4-star champion with a persistent charge. I'm thinking it's going to be Bishop or Sabretooth. Probably Bishop though, just because I see Bishop on this node more than I see Sabretooth, it seems. And it turns out, yep, it is Bishop. So just going to you know, bait out the heavy attacks, get some parry stuns going, try my best to push him to an L2 versus his L1 if I can at all possible. But of course he throws the L1 immediately right there, so did not have a chance to do that. That's all right though. I really should have probably played this a little bit slower. Oof, got hit by that heavy attack. I probably should have played it a little bit slower once he got the L1 off. I do think it's a safer play to let the energy damage drop off before even making contact with him again. But then again, that node, you know, you're prone to taking some degen damage, so it's kind of a pick your poison kind of deal, and yeah, the energy damage probably wasn't as scary as the degen was. But that is it for my contributions to this war. None of these mini bosses will be handled by myself. We did manage to take down the international alliance that we were facing here. Good war to you guys. And that is it for this video. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Take care.